Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would fight if I could. Like, if I could fight like this month or next month, it would be perfect. But it's
John, in my opinion, if you look at his body of work over the last 15 years, he's like as close as you can get to perfection as possible. He's like 37, 38 years old, but not only that, he's got 1 million miles on the clock. So he's got a lot of damage on the body. He's took a lot of shots to the head. And that's not me saying anything negative about it. That's the reality of it. And I'm sure John Jones is aware of that. And he's fighting one of the most concussive punchers in UFC history. And I just think I can exploit it. Like, I think to get out the way of me for 25 minutes at this point in his career without getting hit once, and that's all I need is just one, I think that's going to be very difficult for anybody.
I honestly can see John's point of view. Yep. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. It's just about the title for me.
Yep.
I just want the title, that's it.
Yep.
Does nothing else really matters. So, yeah, I get it completely. Get his point of view. Get what everybody's saying. Completely understand. I just want to prove I'm the best.
From dream fights to the mental grind of being sidelined, Tom Aspinall opened up in Demetrius Johnson's interview, and things got real, fast, especially when the conversation turned to Jon Jones. Tom didn't sugarcoat anything, and Demetrius, with his championship pedigree and deep fight IQ, broke down why this potential clash isn't just exciting, it's downright dangerous for both men.
Jon Jones, you don't know where you stand. Dana said it's the biggest fight in UFC history now, so...
Yeah, I've had enough talking about it, mate. I'm honestly bored of it. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll just see. I'm ready to fight whenever they tell me, so just let me know. I'll be there.
Everyone thinks you're a bit of like a quintessential good guy. Could we see a heel turn at some point in the MMA world?
We might do. Who knows? Who knows?
Tom firmly believes he's a nightmare matchup for Jon Jones, and he's not throwing that out carelessly. It's not about trash talk, it's about facts. He's younger, faster, and hits hard. But more importantly, he's still a bit of a mystery. There's not a lot of fight tape or patterns for Jones to study, and that unknown factor makes him incredibly risky. As Demetrius pointed out, preparing for someone like Aspinall is tough because of how quickly he closes distance and how cleanly he lands. That kind of speed and timing isn't something you can easily simulate in camp, and if Jones gets clipped even once, it could be lights out.
I think I think I'm a bad matchup for him, to be honest, and I think he knows it.
My opinion, I think it's a huge risk.
Yeah.
It's a huge risk. You're younger, you're athletic, you hit hard, you pose problems. We don't have much data on you, meaning that we don't know what happens if you do. And this is me speaking from an analyst and like my experience in MMA. Like if I was to fight Tom Aspinall, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, he's very fast, very athletic, light on his toes. Okay, he blitzes across the void. So if he gets across the void, can I take that shot? A lot of people have not been able to take that shot. So if he gets across that void and I get hit, I might go fucking down.
Demetrius framed the situation in a way only a veteran could. If Aspinall manages to drop Jones even just once, he instantly becomes a global superstar, the guy who ended the reign of arguably the greatest of all time. But if he loses, people will brush him off as just another hype train derailed. That risk-reward balance is insane, and it's part of why this fight carries so much psychological weight. But it's not just the physical side of things that's complicated, it's the mental one too. Tom's been out of action for nearly a year. That kind of inactivity eats at fighters. Earlier in his recovery journey, he was motivated, had goals, and was focused on his comeback. Now, with no clear opponent, no scheduled return, and just the weight of waiting, things have gotten more mentally taxing. The longer the layoff, the harder it gets to stay sharp, not just physically, but emotionally.
Tom Aspinall has now said he's just done with the Jon Jones conversation, and either he gets a fight with Jones or he fights somebody else. He's essentially done with it. He's done waiting. He's not doing it.
And I'm literally just waiting for a date. I'm not bothered where it is. I'm not bothered who it's against, to be honest. It's not just the Jon Jones fight I'm looking for. I'm looking to fight, man. Like, I'm in shape. I've been working hard since way before Christmas. I've been in the gym twice a day. I've got international training partners here. I am prepared to
start boxing training. You can do this, that, and then it was like I always had like a little goal to work towards.
Of course.
So after like a couple of months of being like sat on the couch. As soon as I could get in the gym and start working towards different things, it was great. And I felt good. And I was like, right, I definitely want to come back. Now I'm going to go. I don't have any injuries. I'm going to win the heavyweight championship. I'm going to become this legend. I'm going to knock everybody out and all that stuff. Like, I felt great about it. And I was on my recovery path to getting back. Now, I've been almost a year inactive with no prospects of anything apart from weight.
Yeah.
So now he's actually a little bit more.
And then there's the uncertainty around Jones. Tom admitted he'd fight tomorrow if he could, but that's not happening. There's no official word, no progress, and no direction. That limbo is brutal, especially when the prize is that big. Fighting Jones isn't just another bout. It's the kind of opportunity that defines or completely redefines a career. For now, Tom's stuck in a holding pattern, training, staying ready, and hoping the call comes. Demetrius totally understands that dynamic, especially when you're chasing greatness. And while fans might just see two names on a poster, fighters like Tom and analysts like Mighty Mouse see all the layers underneath. The pressure, the preparation, the possibilities, and the price of stepping into that cage.
This is the fight against Jon Jones. Like, not the fight is another thing.
Yeah.
This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best. It's tough.
And here's where things get even more interesting, because it's not just Tom and Demetrius analyzing this fight. A lot of boxing and MMA experts are starting to chime in too, and many of them see the writing on the wall. If Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall actually happens, it could be one of the most unpredictable matchups in heavyweight history.
When we all fought Jon, you know that the first time I fought Jon Jones, I was 36 years old the first time I fought Jon Jones, and 38 the second time. He's now what, 37, 38 years old? He was in his mid-20s when he fought all these great legends, but he fought them all when he was in his mid-20s. Now, he'd be on the other side of that coin. This kid's young. He's the older guy. He's been through the wars. It doesn't matter how great you are. When you go through that many battles, it will show. The Gustafsson fight. Him and I just bashed the shit out of each other for 8 rounds. Like, we fought, we punched, we kicked. Reyes fight. The fight with the last guy, Thiago Santos. All those guys that fought him close. That takes hold. I think that this kid is as dangerous for him as anyone he's ever been in there with. Partly because that's not his weight class. If he's at 205, I bet if he's weighing 215, he would fight Tom Aspinall better than him weighing 245 pounds. Yeah. I 220 in his 205 frame, right. He could fight Tom Aspinall better than he'd fight him at that 250, because while he didn't last long with Cyril, he didn't look as fast. He didn't look as
carried more weight.
He carried more.
From a pure fight IQ standpoint, even Demetrius Johnson hinted that Jon might be playing chess here. He's not rushing into anything. In fact, it almost looks like Jon's trying to control the narrative. He's talked about how he might take the fight with Tom, but only if the paycheck is massive. And let's be honest, that sounds like a safety net. If he wins, he's the legend who beat the young lion. But if he loses, well, he can say it was just a big payday. Nothing more.
Jon Jones is holding this fight up, is refusing to fight Tom Aspinall. Now, that may well be the truth. I'm just here to bring to you guys, we don't have that evidence. Jon Jones will be offered a fight with Tom, or he cannot fight at all. And when you're a prize fighter, electing to not fight does not make you good at negotiating. It makes you unemployed. And Jon Jones has done great, but Jon Jones has not made walkaway money. This whole idea that Jon Jones is holding this up, or Jon Jones is not going to fight Tom, at this point, you don't have that evidence. And it's nothing more right now than speculation.
It's a smart move, almost too smart, because in doing that, Jones kind of sets himself up to win either way. Demetrius even pointed out that Jon could be strategically building this up so that there's no real consequence for a loss. It's like, hey, I took the risk, I got paid, and I'm still the GOAT. And if he wins, the legend status just gets even bigger. But there's tension building behind the scenes. Dana White has been pretty clear. If Jon Jones wants to fight again, it needs to be against Tom Aspinall. There's no avoiding it anymore. The division has evolved, the fans are demanding it, and Tom has more than earned that shot. The idea of Jon asking for $40 million to take the fight sounds like a move to either price himself out or test how badly the UFC wants this to happen.
Terrified, right? But I think what Jon Jones could be doing is maybe setting something up. He said he would consider fighting Tom Aspinall if the number and a check is good. That way, if he did lose to Tom Aspinall, it doesn't really matter, right? So it's a very hard thing when you peel back the onion. And Dana White said it. He goes, Jon Jones needs to fight Tom Aspinall if he wants to fight again, right? You look at Jon Jones. John Jones, you want to fight Tom Aspinall? I want $40 million. I can't give that to you, John Jones. You're not getting Alex Picheda. Done. John Jones retires. Or does Dana White go back on his word and say, you know what, Alex Jones, you guys to fight? Because John Jones already said he would relinquish the world title, right? And he says
That kind of negotiating power only works when you're holding all the cards, though. And right now, it's starting to feel like John's grip might be slipping. Because if Dana doesn't budge and John really doesn't take the fight, he may just walk away and vacate the title like he's hinted before. That would leave Aspinall in an awkward spot, a champion without the crown jewel victory. But also, it kinda exposes the fact that maybe John doesn't want that smoke unless the terms are perfect. While Demetrius Johnson gave insight from a fighter's perspective, over on the boxing and MMA commentary side, experts like Joe Rogan have raised another layer of intrigue. What happens if Tom Aspinall can't finish John Jones early? That's the big unknown circling this hypothetical matchup. Everyone knows Tom is a lightning fast, explosive finisher. So far, he's been in and out of fights before the clock even matters. But that speed and power come with a question mark. What happens when someone doesn't fold? What happens when a fight drags past round 1 or 2?
Beats him.
Who knows
Yeah,
if
who
John
knows?
beats him? John might beat him up.
Yeah, he could.
John might take him down and fucking ragdoll him on the ground, like, you know.
John easily could. Because we don't know how good John is either.
And we also don't know what happens to Tom Aspinall in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds.
He's
we
never
have
been-
zero
because no one's
idea.
gotten there.
No one's even gotten close.
There's so many question marks. Like, we don't know how
I
good
know.
John is.
Right.
You can't tell me John's the best of all time, or he is the best GOAT, but you can't tell me he's the baddest heavyweight on the planet after being an older Stipe.
Analysts are pointing out that Aspinall's quick finishes, while impressive, haven't really tested his cardio, mental endurance, or his ability to adjust mid-fight, 3 areas where John Jones thrives. And that's where John becomes terrifying. He's not just a legend because of his highlight reel, but because he's proven time and time again that he can go deep into fights, make real-time reads, and turn the tide even when the odds are stacked. Jones has had wars. He's pushed through 5-round slogs, come back from bad positions, and fought killers even when his preparation was questionable. And that's what makes this potential matchup so risky. If Aspinall doesn't land early, if he doesn't find that finish in the opening moments, then he's stepping into a place he's never really been. Deep water against someone who's practically built for it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Aspinall is past the first round, right? Because we've seen him.
Right.
He looks so
Right.
fast. He
Right.
looks. You're like, nobody moves like him. He looks like a younger Kane.
Right.
But he just keeps knocking these guys out so quick. So I'm like, let me see him past the first round to see if he has that cardio as well.
It's a bit of a problem for him, right? Because he has not been tested in that way. And, you know, you're getting up to elite status where you're calling out John Jones.
Yeah.
Right? That's the boogeyman. Like, John Jones is the boogeyman. And maybe he hasn't died, but he's probably he's probably knocked on the door a couple of times, like, what's going on, Death? You in there? You know, John Jones has had some trials and tribulations, but the skill set and the ability to push deep into rounds is nuts. Like, John fought, when he fought Gustafsson, he had almost no training camp. They said he barely showed up. Like, you know, I talked to Jackson about it, and Greg Jackson was telling me, he's like, he didn't even train for that fight.
Wow.
He didn't even train. And then he pulled that fight off in the 4th and 5th rounds.
Some experts even see the mind game starting already, with Aspinall confidently eyeing Jones and calling him out. The real question becomes, will that light a fire under John? Because a motivated, fully prepped John Jones is a problem no one has truly solved. The stylistic contrast here is also huge. Tom is all about speed, forward pressure, and knockout intent, but John is a master of distance, unpredictability, and control. He'll chop your legs, smother your rhythm, and keep you reacting instead of attacking. That's something Tom hasn't had to deal with yet. So while people are hyped about Aspinall's rapid rise, many commentators are asking the same thing. What does he do when that early storm isn't enough? The Pavlovich fight showed Aspinall's grit. He took it on short notice, injured, and still walked through a knockout artist like it was a light spar. But Jones isn't a brawler. He's a tactician with a granite chin and years of big fight experience. That's the fight people want to see, not just for the fireworks, but to find out who bends when things don't go their way. Even Paddy Pimblett, who's not only a UFC fighter, but also a friend of Tom Aspinall, couldn't hide his internal conflict when weighing in on this dream matchup. Sitting beside Tom recently in London, Paddy shared just how much respect he has for him, not just as a fighter, but as one of the coolest, most genuine people in all of MMA. But even with all that admiration, Paddy made one thing crystal clear. He still can't pick against John Jones. And that says a lot. Paddy isn't known for sugarcoating his takes. He's outspoken, passionate, and loyal. But when it comes to this fight, he knows what John brings to the table. It's not just about raw power or past accolades. For Paddy, it's John's fight IQ that sets him apart from everyone else.
He's got an octagon IQ that's as high as anybody ever. He's also long as shit, so he knows how to use that length.
And I think he also has that little extra something.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Where he doesn't care if you die.
He's a bad man. There's no doubt about it.
He's a bad man.
One of the scariest John Jones finishes was when he choked unconscious Lyoto Machida and just dropped him.
Yeah,
Jones doesn't just show up and fight, he dissects. He tailors game plans to exploit his opponent's every weakness. According to Paddy, that's what makes him the greatest ever. You can have youth, speed, and knockout power on your side, but when you're standing across from someone who can outthink you at every turn, that's a whole different beast.
Do you think the Aspinall-Jones fights happens?
It's got to happen. I was sitting next to Tom the other week at the UFC in London and talking to him about it.
How do you think that plays out if they fight?
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against John Jones. The one thing I do think John Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. As much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against John Jones. It's just something I couldn't do.
So while Paddy would love nothing more than to see his friend get that career-defining win, he admits that it's hard to go against the legacy, experience, and cold-blooded calculation of John Jones. And when even a friend of the opponent can't confidently bet against Jones, it tells you everything you need to know about how tough of a mountain this would be for Aspinall to climb.
That's the question. Is like, when are these elite athletes going to enter MMA?
Damn. Well, they are, but in small numbers. Well, John Jones is absolutely an elite athlete.
But he's got a 20-inch vertical.
Yeah.
So it's like, how elite?
He's got small calves, but the fact that he has those small calves allows him to be 6'4" and 205 pounds.
Right, you're saying if he was bottom heavy, he'd be 250.
Yeah, he'd be a different weight, which he could be, by the way. He could be a heavyweight. He could bulk up and go up to heavyweight. But he's got like weird calf genetics. His calves are tiny. But the thing is, you don't have to jump that much in MMA, and he can hit you in the face with a flying.
Right now, Tom Aspinall is stuck in limbo, healthy, ready, and motivated, but with no real fight in sight. He's been inactive for almost a year, and it's eating at him. Meanwhile, John Jones is dragging things out, talking about massive paychecks and acting like the belt means nothing unless the money's right.
Yeah. I'm over here sipping on coconut, talking about when you gonna fight.
Demetrius Johnson called it for what it is. John's being calculated. If the price is high enough, maybe he'll fight. If not, he might just walk away. That's left Tom hanging, stuck between chasing greatness and waiting on someone who's more focused on his image than defending the title. And that's the sad part. Tom wants to fight, John wants control. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.